Hello, and welcome to this week's live Monday Music Motivation. For today, I'm going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite sources of motivation and inspiration, and it's so very powerful. And sometimes I forget about how powerful this is because I don't get it all the time, and then I do, and it's always motivating and inspiring. And that, of course, if you've seen the title of this, is live music and live performances, and watching great musicians make music in real time, in front of you, in a real in-person space is so really special. And of course, recordings are really special too. And if you can't get to see live great music in person, that's okay. You should try really hard to do that. Listening to recordings is great, but there's just something different and something extra special about being live. This past weekend, I saw the NRO, the National Repertory Orchestra, performing a bunch of kind of late romantic music. There was Strauss, Dvorak, Ravel, and Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 4 was kind of the big highlight piece on the program. And there's just so many special things that you get when you're there in person and watching the music being made in real time. And some of those things are kind of funny, serendipitous things that we would never have happen on a recording. Like in the finale of the Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 4, the crash cymbal player, the strap on the cymbal broke and he dropped the cymbal in the middle of a rest, which was funny, but really engaging. And the whole theme of the program was this idea of like discovering passion, and like what gets more passionate than going so hard on your crash cymbal part that you break the strap, which was just kind of like not necessarily a component of the music that was special, but a component of the performance that absolutely was special. And the conductor had him stand up for a solo bow and everything at the end. It was great. And even before that happened, I could tell the passion from the crash cymbals. And that's something that you don't get so much in a recording, because in a recording everything's kind of mixed and mastered, and you kind of hear what you hear, and you can try to kind of shift your focus in a recording, but a recording is almost like a two-dimensional version of sound, because it's all mixed and mastered the way that they kind of want you to hear it, and all balanced that way. Whereas when it's live, sure, there's real-time balance, and depending on the acoustics of the hall, you're going to hear different things differently, which is also kind of part of the fun. But you get also to kind of fine-tune that for yourself in a little bit more three-dimensional way than when you're just listening to a recording. And I was already really tuned into the cymbal player because he was playing very passionately and really bringing so much life to the music, which was awesome. A couple other highlights that just go to show again how special in-person performances too is like the tubas and low brass and the horn section. Oh my gosh, so clean and clear, and like feeling the low notes of the tuba and the timpani like in your body is a totally different experience than you can get listening to a recording. You can kind of come close with a really good sound system listening to a recording, but again, it doesn't have that same kind of three dimensions to it where you can really hone in on it. So it's really special. And another one that I have to shout out to is the piccolo player. The third movement of the Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 4 has these like wicked fast 30-second notes, and they're like this like very fast and the piccolo player like articulated all of those. And there's even another part towards the end of it where the piccolo actually has more than just one beat. It's like 2 or 3 beats of and they articulated all of it, and it was totally mind-blowing. I don't think I've ever really actually heard that clearly articulated, even in some recordings, which just like had my jaw on the floor. And also, I should say, during intermission, I heard her practicing on stage, and she was practicing at half tempo, very clean, very clear. So that wasn't part of the point of today's motivation, but as a good reminder that even when you hear these like mind-blowing performances, those professionals doing it are practicing half speed all the way up to intermission before the piece actually happened. So that's a good little reminder. But overall, seeing that live music is just so so much more inspiring even than listening to a recording, and getting to kind of be in the room with all of that passion and connection is really, really special and really motivating. So my Monday music motivation for you is, if you have the opportunity to see great musicians playing live, or maybe even mediocre musicians too, it kind of works the same to still have that energy. If you can go to a live performance, get yourself to a live performance, get to be feeling that energy in real time, get to listen in 3 dimensions rather than just 2 dimensions of a recording, and get that motivation and inspiration that comes from that. And it's definitely has me wanting to practice more and do my long tones and try to sound as clear and beautiful and full and rich as those clarinetists did at the concert. So that's the main motivation for you today. So if you can do that, do that. The other kind of side motivation that I think was also really special is this past weekend, a couple of my students who I typically just teach online were there as well, and we got to play some quartets together and actually make music together in person. And some of them, it was the first time I've ever actually heard them play in person and not just online, which was also really special. And getting to actually play music together was wonderful. And if you've never played music with other people, then again, you're totally missing out on a huge, very meaningful, very important part of music making. So try, if you can, to get into a community band, find somebody else who plays an instrument, and even just do duets with them or anything like that, because I love practicing and I love sitting in my practice room and doing my own thing and refining my clarinet skills and becoming more expressive with music. But music really is about the community and about making music together, which is always a super special experience. So it was really great to get to play with my students this past weekend as well. So it was 2 highlights in one day. Really, really fantastic weekend. Now, it is a Monday music motivation though, so we can't just talk about this stuff and say this would be really fun. We have to actually put it into action and fill out our practice template. And if you want to make a goal for your goal this week in your practice template, to buy tickets to a live performance or look for somebody to make music with, that would be a fantastic goal. But here is what the practice template looks like. It's your date for the week, reflection of how things are going for you, goal for what you want to accomplish this week, and then your plan for when you're going to do it and what you're going to do to make it happen. So get your practice journal filled out, your practice template for the week. You can go to quickstartclarinet.com/get started to download that exact PDF template if you want that. Or you can also make it for yourself and just date for the week, reflection, goal, plan, and then take that plan, put it in your calendar, put it in your schedule, set reminders, do whatever planning and organization to your life you do, so you set those as appointments that you aren't going to miss, so that you can keep achieving a little bit every week, moving towards that next goal and getting better and better. And again, if you want to make a plan of Wednesday at 9 a.m., I'm going to go on my local symphony website and look at what concerts they might have coming up, or any performances, or look for the summer band that does performances, or whatever it may be in your area. That would be an awesome plan to experience that power of live music and get to listen to music in 3 dimensions like it was intended. And again, I have nothing against recordings. Listening to recordings is great and inspirational as well, but there's just a little something different about live music that's really, really special and was really enjoyable. And the last thing I'll say about this is, I've played the Tchaikovsky Symphony No. 4 before. I've played a band arrangement of the finale of it before, so I know the piece pretty well. It's one of the super standards. I've studied excerpts from it for auditions and things like that as well. And I wasn't particularly excited for that piece, because I was like, it's just Tchaik 4. Like, I know this piece, but I'll go and listen, and it'll be fun to see the NRO. I've never seen them before, so that'll be a good time. But it was awesome. There's a reason why it's such a standard and why it gets played over and over, and we absolutely should be playing new music and not just the same old standards that get played over and over and over and over again. But they are also still really good pieces, and it's really special. Even pieces that you know and things that you're familiar with, getting to experience them live and in real time is something else and something unique. So go do that. It's so inspiring, so motivational. Have a fantastic week of practicing. Get your practice template filled out. Put that in your calendar. Do your work this week. Have a great week of practicing. And I will see you not next week, because I will be at Clarinet Fest in Fort Worth. So maybe I'll see you in person at Clarinet Fest if you're going to be there, but we won't have a live Monday Music Motivation unless I somehow happen to get time and all the travels and things like that. But we'll plan on not doing that. So I'll see you 2 weeks for the next live Monday Music Motivation. Have a great couple of weeks, everybody. Thanks so much.